Wondered whether your teacher taught the right thing, or have you questioned the answers on the board? In these cases, you're being skeptical. Now, people tend to see the word skeptical as a bad thing, but I think otherwise, especially in our modern age where the internet and AI have a lot of misinformation. We all begin life accepting nearly everything we're taught. The gap in understanding and experience between a grown adult and a child is so vast that to a child, any adult seems like an unquestionable source of truth. As we mature, we begin to notice that not all adults agree with one another, so some of them must be wrong. We learn to be more selective about whom we trust, refining our choices of authorities. Yet, in many ways, we still depend on others to shape our understanding, such as turning to specialists, influential voices, spiritual guides, public figures, media commentators, or simply what we all know. For me, the greatest authority after my parents is science. I was always fascinated by science, whether it's the dinosaur extinction or the formation of our solar system. Knowing how our world works never ceases to amaze me. However, I was also being told that there's a magical old man who rides on a sledge pulled by deers and goes around the world on one day of the year, giving out presents to kids. Not to mention that he'll have to know how many children are there and what they want. The single action of traveling around the world in one night means that he's moving at around 1/3 of the speed of light, which is approximately 985,000 meters per second. Technically impossible. So here's the question. Should I believe in science or the myth of a magical old fellow? This process of questioning is what we call skepticism. And as I mentioned, it is not seen as something admirable. Skepticism has a bad reputation. People think it means being negative, cynical, dismissive. But true skepticism is not about disbelief. It is about thoughtful belief. It is the process of asking, what should I believe and what should I doubt whenever we face a questionable statement? Once you start questioning, it can feel like your beliefs start to fall apart. This process doesn't always lead to comfortable places. Some people, when faced with a beloved belief and hard evidence, choose to reject the evidence. They find communities online that share their alternative framework. Others keep questioning and refining their views. It's a lifelong journey, and it's never truly finished. But I am convinced that it's one of the most important journeys we can take. So today, I'm here to share with you a practical framework, a toolkit for building thoughtful beliefs. I see it as a 3-step system. Look inward, seek outward, and observe the full view. The first and most important step is to look inward. This means turning your skepticism onto yourself. We are all vulnerable to the flaws of our own minds. We have cognitive biases, mental shortcuts that often leads us onto the wrong paths. Confirmation bias makes us seek out information that conforms to what we already believe and dismiss what challenges us. The backfire effect can make us hold on to belief even more strongly when it's presented with contradictory evidence. We develop emotional attachments to the ideas that become part of our identity. Therefore, the process of changing it will definitely contain mental pain. Now, the essence of a true critical thinker is not the ability to spot these flaws in others. It is the courage to search for them in ourselves. Ask yourself, do I believe this because it's well supported, or because it makes me feel smart, safe, or part of a group? Is this something that I want to be true? This is hard, uncomfortable work, but it is essential. We must audit our own mental machinery before we can accurately evaluate the information coming into it. This process is like the action of cleaning your lens before taking a photo, so that at least it will be clear, despite the perspective of the shot. On to the next step, which is to seek outward. Once you check your own biases, you must become a detective for every claim that wants your belief. In my life as a student, I am constantly bombarded with information. a research paper on the Industrial Revolution, an experiment plan about gravitational acceleration. Whenever I do these, I try not to just copy and paste, rather to explore deeper within the sources themselves, whether they're useful, biased, or important. First, I ask, who is speaking and why should I listen to them? I'm not just looking for a name. I'm asking, what's their expertise in this specific field? A famous biologist probably isn't an expert in medieval economics. I look for their credentials, but also their history. Have they been reliable before? Do other experts in this field respect them? And crucially, do they show their work, cite their sources, or are they just making grand announcements? Next, I ask, where is this information coming from? This is about the platform and the context. Is it a research paper in a worksheet my teacher has mentioned? Or is it just a clickbait video? Was it published yesterday or 10 years ago? A statistic about internet usage from 2010 tells a completely different story today. Something published on a platform with editors and fact-checkers go through different filters to something posted directly to a feed designed for maximum social engagement. Then, I ask the most telling question. What does the author or organization gain by me believing this? This is about the purpose. Is the primary goal to educate me, or to sell me something? To inform me, or to make me click and share? If I'm watching a documentary produced by a political party, its purpose might be persuasion. If I'm reading a study funded by a soda company about sugar, I need to be extra careful. Follow the incentives. Wealth, influence, power, fame. These are the engines behind a lot of information. Once the purpose is clear, the context will make more sense. Finally, the last step, which is to observe the full view. No single source, no matter how reputable, can give you the complete picture. Investigating in one source is like telling a book by its cover. To see the full image, you need to read through the pages. This means actively and deliberately seeking out different credible perspectives. If you read a news story on one perspective, make it a habit to see how another one shows a different philosophy on the same event. If you see a groundbreaking scientific claim, look for critiques and ongoing debates in that scientific field, as science is always full of arguments. If your social media feed shows you one statement about a social issue, use a search engine to find first-hand accounts and data from reputable institutions. It is about building depth perception. You need to see the cause and effect on a three-dimensional platform, or even higher. This process protects you from the echo chamber, which is formed by information that only fulfills your needs. Unfortunately, these distorted information that we see online can never truly disappear, as they are built into the cycle of our society. Its main purpose is to capture your focus, and to do that, it will often simplify, exaggerate, or emotionally charge the information you see. But we are not powerless. We have a choice. We can choose to be a passive consumer of whatever videos or links tell us. Or we can choose to become an active evaluator, a builder of our own understandings. We can choose to train our sights to adapt and filter through these news and messages, and gain a better worldview during the process. And this process is the three-step system I've just mentioned. Looking inward, seeking outward, and observing the full view. It is a process, not a destination. Some days you'll do well, other days you'll be fooled. But the point is to keep trying, keep questioning, keep refining. When our world is constantly trying to tell you what to think, the most powerful act is to decide how you think. Your own vision, your own gaze. To develop a process for separation rather than differentiation. So start today. The next time you feel certain, outraged, or convinced, pause. Look inward, seek outward, observe the full view. And I wish you all develop your very own views of the world. Thank you.